Like many of us, I've been making myself at home with Wanderlust since its digital release on August 25th.
Excellent.
Today, I'm very excited indeed to be joined by Jillian Rae.
Thank you.
And by this point, the release show for Wanderlust is on the not distant horizon.
It's coming up.
Not this Saturday, but next Saturday at Icehouse. Who are you going to be playing with at Icehouse?
My wonderful band, which is myself, Eric Martin, Alex Young, and Jimmy Osterholt.
Yeah.
And then following our set is going to be one of my new favorite bands that I discovered this summer. They're called Alaska.
I was excited to discover them through the press release.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
I hadn't encountered them before. How did you encounter them?
We ended up doing just a little weekend run of shows. I want to say it was in July in southern Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. It's a trio of sisters, so they have those baller sister harmonies. They have individual sounds, but the way they blend is amazing. And they play a plethora of instruments. I think in the mix there's violin, a couple guitars, one will play ukulele. One of the sisters plays banjo every once in a while. So they perform that way and with a full band, and they're going to be doing the full band.
Speaking of that way and speaking of full band, let's focus on the musicians that you have playing with you on the record. That includes quite an impressive cast of characters too, including JT Bates, very much at home at Icehouse.
Yes, for sure.
So you've got JT Bates on the drums. Is that on all 4 of the songs?
Yep. We just tracked all of these tunes in 2 days.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like did it as live as we could for like the ensemble part of it. So yeah, we had JT and then Liz Draper on upright bass, which was amazing.
And then Chris Koza does backing vocals
Yes,
on Nebraska.
which that was just a cool happenstance. He lives nearby the studio, it turned out. I was kind of toying with singing my own backing vocals, which is fine, but I feel like with certain songs, and like this one in particular, I just didn't feel like that sounded how I wanted it. Like I thought, like I don't even know if I want a female vocal. I think I need a male vocal harmony on it.
Yeah.
And Chris was just like, I'm free. So,
Oh, great.
yeah,
How was Chris
perfect.
aware that you were in search of a male vocalist?
I mentioned it to Mark Stockert, who is
Yeah.
the engineer at the studio that we recorded the band tracks at.
Sure.
And he had mentioned, because Chris has recorded a few of his albums there too at Underwood Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of Mark's idea. Like, of course, I love Chris Koza, and it was just like, yeah, that's the perfect vocalist. He was like, hey, have you tried Chris? He just like lives up the road. So, yeah, it
And he's
just
a
came
friend,
together
yeah.
really organically.
As did this entire song. Let's zoom in on this song, Nebraska.
Yeah.
You were telling me just before the interview that this was actually composed by a good friend of yours.
Yes.
Yeah? So who was it composed by? And when was it composed?
I'm gonna give an educated guess and say that
Okay.
it was written around 2007.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was written
It's
a
about
while
10 years
ago.
old.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's seen a lot of variations. Her name is Ashley Northey, and she's one of my best friends on the entire planet. And she still lives in Duluth. We met when I lived in Duluth for a short time, and that's actually when I first started playing in bands.
Yeah. Playing in bands, period.
Like,
Any
yeah,
bands.
period.
Okay,
Well,
so which bands were you
I
playing in at
should,
the
like,
time?
when I was a little kid, I would fiddle with, like, little old guy, like, country bands, like, up in northern Minnesota and whatnot. So, I mean, I've had experience, but I had never played in bands where it's original music and I'm writing my own parts and all that stuff. So I just started immersing myself in that while still keeping up my classical repertoire. So I was just practicing all the time. And Ashley and her then, I guess, partner lived beneath me in my apartment.
Oh, wow.
So we just met kind of casually, and it turned out her
Well, that's
partner...
very organic.
Super organic. And then, so I was invited to play in this band because her partner was the bass player. Like,
Okay.
this band was just forming. It was called Too Many Banjos.
Too many banjos.
There were 2 banjos in the band. Super clever.
Was it 2 as in T-W-O?
TWO,
Too
yeah.
many.
Clever, right?
That's great.
And I feel like they were kind of planning on me not being very good. Like, I just moved to town, like nobody knew me, and we started playing together, and I was writing out, like at the time, like Roman numeral analysis style, like charts that I would have done in like theory class. I was just out of school, so they were just like,
where
holy
you'd
shit.
been doing music performance at school. Yeah, that's what you've been focusing
and
on.
I mean, theory was my least stellar subject, but it was just, that's like the only way I really knew how to like write out a chart at the time. They just immediately knew that I was a violin nerd, and we clicked, and it was super fun. But Ashley, I actually met her at that first day. This is funny because it's all coming back to me now that you asked me.
Yeah.
I was rehearsing with those guys. Like, I just was coming home and they were like, hey, come in here and bring your violin. So I was playing with them for the first time. And in walks Ashley, and she was pretty largely pregnant at the time, too.
Yeah.
And she was just about to embark on a tour with one of her good friends. They were both like guitar players, singer-songwriters. So I met her right before that tour, and I could tell she was super irritated that we were all in her house. So my first impression was like, who's this bitchy neighbor I have now that hates music? She obviously doesn't, but that was like...
She was not the bitchy neighbor and she didn't hate music.
No, it's just, I think she's just like, can you guys please get out of my house? I'm hot and pregnant and I'm trying to pack for this tour, you know, in retrospect. So she went on this tour and then we really started hanging out when she came back, and she was in the midst of writing Nebraska. I think it took her a couple of months, and when she like played it for me in one of our living rooms, I was just like, that song is perfect. It should be on the radio, it should be in a movie. It's just, it was, I love it. I love the picture that it paints. And it's so relatable for me now when you come full circle this long after, because all of the songs on this record I kind of either wrote on the road or about being on the road.
Absolutely.
And that's what this was. She wrote it after being on this tour with her friend. Apparently they got in a huge fight and they didn't speak while driving through the whole state of Nebraska. And they drove through a storm.
The sound of silence fogs the window.
Yes.
I'm glad you mentioned
these words didn't come from me originally, but I feel like anybody can relate to that, just whether you're on a road trip or just, you know, the struggles of just being with the same person day in and day out all the time in a car, you know?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was perfect to go on this record. I've been performing it for a while, but I had no endeavors of recording it until this just whipped itself up.
Did it suddenly seem like the right time to do it because you realized other songs of yours were to do with traveling?
Yeah.
Is that what made it, what made now the right time for it?
I think so. I think it was content. I have a lot of songs, like at the time that I recorded this, that were done. Well, as you know from, you know, the music that you play, sometimes certain collections fit better with other things, like when you're talking about planning a record, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was this small collection of songs that I just thought, this is what I'm feeling right now, because I had gotten off of just being on the road constantly. I had completely ruined my voice for a while. I needed to take a break, but I was still just very much in like, you know, road brain. Like I just wanted to be on the road still.
Okay, because I'm sure not everyone feels that.
Oh yes, either you love it or you hate it, I think. It seems like there's like two extremes. Yeah, I love it. I love coming home too. I think it makes you appreciate like your home being your sanctuary for sure.
Yeah.
But I love being on the road. I love experiencing new cities and meeting new people and all of that. But yeah, when I was figuring out like I need to record something, it's been too long, it just, these songs made sense together. It's what I was feeling in the moment, and it was like, well, Nebraska has to go on this. It fits so perfect.
It fits, yeah.
The acoustic instrument thing, I feel like this song is perfect on this sort of lineup.
I'm glad that you highlighted the acoustic. So this is the first full record of yours, which is all acoustic instruments. Is there any relationship between the theme and the decision to have this one be all acoustic? Or were they two just distinct decisions?
That's a good question, Simon. Jeez, you're good. I feel like that decision just kind of happened together. I don't think that I had a thought of, you know, these are road and traveling songs, therefore they should be on acoustic instruments. I think it was just, I wrote them all on guitar. I didn't like make violin parts to any of these songs until after they were written. So like the soul of them just came from an acoustic guitar and my voice.
Is that different from previous songwriting? So that all of the songs on Heartbeat, for example?
Oh, I'm just all over the place. I'm the least seasoned songwriter you've ever met. I have like no discipline at all. It's just, it's kind of a when inspiration strikes.
Yeah.
Or if I'm giving myself a challenge, like I'm gonna be at the piano today, or I'm gonna be at the banjo today, or whatever, you know, because I play a lot of instruments.
So did you give yourself the challenge then to write a collection of songs that were all on acoustic guitar?
It just happened.
It just happened.
So that's like the whole thing, it just came together like, oh, this is how these were written. I kind of like this vibe, this makes sense. And also, now that I'm really thinking about it, it might have some influence from another band I play in called Corpse Reviver.
Oh, yes.
We do like old folk songs, you know, that are some of the earliest
Harry
written.
Smith anthology.
Yeah, we're basically an anthology tribute band.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I'm on the road or traveling, or even like when you're camping, you know, you bring like a ukulele or a shitty guitar that you don't care what happens to it, and like that's the type of music that you're playing when you're traveling.
Yes.
It seems, so I feel like there's all of these little like brain waves that I've had throughout like coming into making this record. So I don't think that I like sat down and made out a list. This is the philosophy I'm gonna follow. It just, it all made sense to me.
Well, we'll come back to philosophy and ideas soon enough because we're going to delve into the lyrics. But thinking of this record and thinking of traveling and thinking of your trajectory, is this acoustic vibe that the new acoustic vibe that there is on this record, is that indicative of a new direction, or is the next place that you're going to travel again somewhere quite different?
Ooh, I don't know if I want to tell you my secrets yet, Simon.
Because you revealed that you were working on a record, that you are working on another full length.
Yes, well really I intended when I shouldn't say I intended, I just thought and didn't think otherwise that I was going to make a full-length record when I recorded this.
Yeah.
And in the process of getting organized before going into the studio, I felt like this was perfect the way it was, this collection of songs with the content and you know, all of the things we just talked about. So I already had about half of a full length ready then at that time when you take away these.
And then you realize, well, here are 4 acoustic songs that have thematic overlap.
Yeah.
That's an EP.
This belongs together. Yeah.
You said that you wrote the violin parts all after determining the song structures. I find it really interesting that in Breathe, we have the violin solo immediately after Nothing Else Matters But Now, the Moment You're Living. And then the words stop, and it's almost like the brain stops. That moment, it's like thinking stops, and we have achieved being grounded, and music takes over.
Mission accomplished. Great.
These are certainly no longer just solo acoustic guitar songs. We've got the full band. Are there other moments like that where you feel sonically the band is performing or dramatizing a sensation that's important?
I think that happens in all 4 tracks, really.
And then the opening lyrics, I think, are really important for Wanderlust and therefore the record. One more time, time to get it right. Just that couplet, the sense of one more time. We have this sense of something being cyclical. You know, one more time, like this is not the first time. Mm-hmm. But then we do have a sense of finality too. This is one more time, one last time. Again, we're immediately located in the present moment. There has been repetition, there have been previous times, but this is the time to get it right now. And I think that's really important too, that we're immediately reminded that we're in a present moment, whatever that present moment is. That's the first thing that happens on the record. The idea of that comes up in some of the other lyrics, but I feel like it's not just in the lyrics, it's like in the way that the record sounds that it puts us there. How is that happening? Is that something that was intended? Is it something that came through you grounding yourself, you centering yourself more, and then then you're able to share it more? Did it come through being in the present moment with JT Bates and the other musicians who you were working with on this occasion for just a short period of time?
Well, yes, all those things.
All those things.
Yes. That's all. Yes, I'm just gonna say that. I think definitely approaching it in a way where it's like, I've played with Liz Draper a lot. She plays bass in the Okee Dokee Brothers, and her and I, like, she's been a Corpse Reviver guest, and I mean, I know and love her playing a lot, and she's very versatile. Like, she used to play in Black Blondie. Like, she's she can play anything, and her tone, I love her as a person and as a musician so much. So I kind of already knew, like, that, this was gonna feel really great and just really easy. I had never played with JT before, but like most humans that live in Minnesota or wherever that like know who JT is, like, he's an incredible drummer and he's an incredible person. Like, he's just, I think the vibe of personality and that chemistry lends a lot to what the sound is, and I kind of thought going into it, like this is just going to be really relaxed and we're just going to see what comes out, and this isn't going to feel like a high pressure session. It's just going to feel chill and good, and that's exactly how it felt.
Yeah, it's an important moment that one could agonize and become anxious about, but it's also a beautiful, exciting, rich moment.
Yeah, and
that's what it was experiencing.
Yeah.
The rest is up to luck.
What I want is to witness this live, which of course we can do in less than 10 days.
Please.
Not this Saturday, the following Saturday, the 21st at Icehouse.
At Icehouse.
And
I'm so excited.
yeah, thank you for thinking possibility. I'm excited to hear that you are at work on a new LP, and hopefully we'll have you back on Back to the City to talk about that when the time comes around. Thanks, Jillian Rae. So this is Jillian Rae. I'm Simon Calder. This is Back to the City. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you at Icehouse.
See you at Icehouse.
10 days and counting.